This is Take a Cue, Season 4, Episode 2.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, music educators. Welcome to Take a Cue, the podcast that helps you hit the right notes in your band room one rehearsal at a time. I'm Jen Wise, your professional baton dropper and occasional miracle worker.
And I'm Eric Dunno, none of those things. Between the two of us, we've got over 40 years of experience teaching band in New Jersey public schools. And trust us, we've seen it all. Missing mallets, unexpected key changes, and that one clarinet squeak that always arrives right on cue.
Whether you're brand new or a seasoned pro, Take a Cue is here to spark ideas, share strategies, and remind you why band directing is one of the best gigs around.
From classroom hacks to performance tips, we've got practical advice, real stories, and just enough humor to get you through your next rehearsal.
If you're enjoying the show, give us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcast app. It helps more music educators find us.
And stay connected with us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Take a Cue Podcast. We'd love to hear your stories, swap ideas, and celebrate the wins, big or small.
So grab your baton, tune up those instruments, and get ready to bring out the best in your students and yourself. This is Take a Cue. Happy October.
Yes, we finally made it to October, though it doesn't feel like it up here in the Northeast. It feels like August.
It does. It was 84 degrees today or something wild.
What in the world?
I know. TJ is super sad that summer's over. I swear, not a day goes by that he's like, I love summer. I miss summer. I wish it was summer. I'm like, dude, it's 84 degrees. It's like today was pajama day. You had on long sleeve pajamas and you sweated it out because it was, a spirit day. And, it's.
Summer's one of my favorite, probably my favorite season, and I'm ready for it to be done. Bring on fall.
I love the leaves changing. I love the fall smells. I love all those things. And it's just been we haven't quite gotten there yet. I heard it's going to be a short, changing leaf season because of how dry it's been and how warm it's been. And I'm a little disappointed about that, but I don't know. It is kind of nice to just put off all the sweaters and hats and,
yes,
I
understand. Yeah. So what's been going on in school? Because we are now in October. We've gotten more than a month under our belts. Mm-hmm. How's the school year going?
My new room is fantastic. It's changing everything. I could teach kind of sort of the way I want to teach with I've got a smart board and sound, everything hooked up and plenty of space for everybody. And it's pretty wild that I don't have to fight with those things. I find myself with extra time to just think about, teaching and band, and God forbid, it's wow. Whoa. I know. And I don't have to set up and break down and worry about, who's on the other side of the curtain on the stage. But then, we're still going to be, in hot cross buns land for another month or so. So we're just, but we're plugging along. We're doing really, pretty okay. What I do appreciate about having a bigger space is that for the first 3 or 4 weeks, I had a table set up where we would go and assemble our instruments, and I could put my hands on everybody's stuff and help them. And, we could all kind of just do the campfire thing. Right. And now we're in our seats, we've got our books in front of us and everything. And that's good. But I'm kind of I kind of miss the table. I kind of miss all right, gather on the table. Let's do some good mouthpiece work. Let's play this game, buzz it. I just, that was kind of fun. So we're preparing for District String Day, where we bring all the, 5th year string kids to the middle school, and they get to meet their next teachers. And so we're working on that. But no, school's good. School's rolling. How about you? What's the band up to?
As I mentioned before in our last episode, it's the biggest band I've ever had, 84 8th graders together. And it's big, and there are some really solid sections. Probably one of the nicest low brass sections that I've had in a long time. They play very, very well. I got a really large percussion section at 16. I think Brendan currently is at 20 in 7th grade. That's a lot of bell kits in one place.
That is.
but they're chugging along, and they're nice kids. Nice percussion sections are a good thing. They all seem to be particularly interested, and they actually stuck around after they learned they had to do a lot of mallet work. So so they're good group of kids, and I really like working with them. And so low brass I think is probably one of the best sections that I've had in a while. Nice group of kids though. Good. Overall, they're learning how to not talk during rehearsal.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, it's tough when they like each other and they like being there. Then they're like happy and talky, and now I got to hear your jazz band auditions the other day. That was pretty cool. So
yes, we finally released the list of names today for our 2 jazz bands at Heritage. And we heard a wide variety of student auditions.
That's a good way to describe it. So
yes, yes,
everything from like oh, okay, this is a key signature, you should observe it, to it sounds like you've listened to jazz before. Way to go.
Yes.
Everything, the whole spectrum. I love going to your middle school auditions because it's like it's such a wide range of like understanding of what jazz is before they come in,
Yes.
So
there's a lot of kids that come in that have never listened to jazz. A lot of them have never done an audition before, except if they did like 6th grade jazz band auditions or something like that. So there's a lot of kids who are totally new to everything, and we try to take as many kids as possible. But but our big bands pretty much stay one on apart. So it was fun. Thank you so much for coming and helping us with that. What's going on with TJ these days? How's kindergarten going for him?
He's crushing it. He loves it. So he's doing so well. I'm very proud of him starting kindergarten and being there and loving it. And so his teacher's amazing. All kindergarten teachers are special, but
yes,
she's as I have, art from Tom's kindergarten teacher above my head behind me.
That's awesome.
I know, right? She paints beautiful things, and TJ actually has another one of her paintings in his bedroom. But no, kindergarten teachers are so special, and I'm so happy that he's just loving being there. So, and I'm getting used to like being the mom in the public school and like following all the emails and the fundraisers and the different things going on. So I'm getting used to that. It's cool. It's a new adventure for us. So and we've kind of sort of figured out drop off and pick up and this and that, and it's working for us. We have someone help him get on the bus every morning, and then he does the kids club aftercare thing a couple days a week. So it's working out. So
sounds like Kate. We kind of do the same thing during the week, and
and we're kind of getting in the rhythm of the school year. That took a minute, so
yes.
But it's like mid-October. We're there. So, Tom's out playing a ton. So I get a lot of TJ time, and we're coming up with little adventures, for us. We went to like a Red Bulls game because he's doing soccer. We went down the shore. We're just going to enjoy the leaves here and do a little local hike, I think. So,
yeah, we're really lucky here in northern New Jersey. We've got like state parks and national parks all around. And there's a lot of good leafing to do around here for sure.
My folder is not even close to full for my concert. Like they have 2 pieces in their folder. We just had our first morning rehearsal, full group rehearsal. We are so not there.
First rehearsal is always exciting.
Oh yeah, it is. And so that was, and we had it in the new room, which is a big deal. So, they fit somehow, we fit, and we're going to stick with it. Like we have to rehearse in there. Like we have to, now that we have the space, but, I have not filled the folder. I'm still on the fence about the last piece. So I kind of want to hold off, but have you guys picked a program? How are you doing with that?
Yes. The 8th grade and I think the 7th grade programs are set. We're doing a piece called Thawing by Kazuki Shimoda, a Japanese composer who wrote it. I think it was actually copywritten 2025 and written in 2024. So it's a brand new piece. The kids really like it. It's a very different sounding concert band piece. I think I mentioned in our last episode, there's a lot of repetition at certain parts, at least by the percussion. So it's almost kind of a little minimalist, but it's a cool piece. And then we're doing Jurassic Park. Isn't there a new Jurassic Park movie coming out now or something like that?
I think so.
I feel like there always is a new Jurassic Park movie coming out.
Yeah, I'm really bad at that though, so I'm not the person to ask. So.
I'll have to ask my wife. She's a big fan.
Okay.
But the Sweeney arrangement of the themes from Jurassic Park, it's not just the main theme. It's a great one for I want to say an easier 8th grade, like beginning of the year kind of thing. There's a little cut time, little 4/flat action going on, but the kids take to it because they really like doing movie music a lot of times. And then we're going to do the body percussion piece, Rubber Chicken Nuggets by me.
There you go.
Yes. So we're working on that today, actually. So yeah,
that'll be great.
So aside from that, just working on Morristown's marching band. They're sounding great. I write their music, arrange their music, and they're amongst a very competitive group of bands this year. They were moved into US Band's open class a couple years ago because they took second place, I think, at states. And I don't know if they would have moved there. They don't normally come in that high. It was a particularly heavy group of seniors that year, and they were kind of forced to go into the more competitive group. So they're kind of learning how to be an open band over the last couple years. But it also doesn't help that I think there are 4 open, and there are a lot of very powerhouse 4 opens.
I was going to say that's a big group. So
yeah, but they're holding their own. They're doing a nice job, and it's nice to get to see their progression every week, usually by video. But that's nice. And Livingston's marching band, I'm on staff there, even though I'm not there very, very regularly, making some good improvements. This is the first time they're trying a harder, more contemporary style show. It's called Rain, REIN, and it's by Randall Standridge. But it's a really well done show. And it makes the band sound good, and they do sound good. There's 110 kids in the marching band this year.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they have a really good sound. First time they've used electronics and mics in the pit and things like that.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay. We had talked about maybe doing something like a marching band episode this month, and we had talked about maybe we could do something for marching band because we're kind of in the middle of the season. But then talking about it, we said maybe we should do something that's good for everybody: middle school directors, elementary directors, high school directors, and that could kind of serve us all year. So
yes.
And we wear so many hats, like conductors, teachers, mentors, psychologists, and we do so many administrative tasks that just take up so much time, like, dealing with uniform assignments and music libraries, instrument inventories, student rosters. And, at this point in the year, I've got a lot of that down, but it just feels like we're constantly like keeping the wheels spinning, plates in the air, that kind of thing. And for me, I know I use like a bunch of different organizational tools between Google Sheets and like the Avery label maker thing, and I have like binders with sign up forms, and like we use all that stuff, but like it's not all integrated. It's not seamless. You have to look in different places for things. You have so many tabs open when you're trying to do one task. Like that's not how workflow should be. So like we're here today to start talking about a more powerful system called Airtable.
That's right. Now, some of our listeners might be thinking, isn't Airtable just like a spreadsheet? And it does look like a spreadsheet at first glance, but it's so much more. I think of it as like a spreadsheet on steroids, or it's a database, and it's user-friendly enough for anybody to use. It's visual. It's really a game changer for organization. And we are not getting paid by Airtable to do this episode.
No, we are not.
But Brendan and I have found it so incredibly useful, especially because of the collaboration piece. It allows us to really know what's going on in the program, even when we can't necessarily talk to each other at that moment. we can see what instruments are being used and which ones aren't. We can get in touch with kids, things like that. So I just thought that we might talk today about Airtable and how Brendan and I use it, and Jen can jump in with questions and comments. And I'm even on our YouTube channel, I'm going to share my screen a lot so you can see how I've got it set up, and hopefully that'll help.
Yeah, Erik is expert. I am definitely a novice Airtable user. I've just dabbled in it and probably just scratched the surface. So I'm really interested to see what else we can do with it besides just using it like a spreadsheet. So
yes. And you can use it like you can copy and paste from a spreadsheet into a database, but then it's really about how you work with all that data and information and how you can help it work together to really help keep yourself organized. It doesn't do everything, but it really is a game changer, and it's free. At least for, I don't know, if you stay within the confines of their free service, we don't pay a cent for it.
Awesome.
Which is pretty neat.
Yeah. Now, what do you guys find are your main things that you use it for?
Okay, so we've got 3 main databases that we have that are not connected to each other. And somebody out there might think of a way that we might be able to connect them and use them together. One of them is our band music library, and I'll go over how we use that and how we have it set up for our usage. We also have a database for our festival that we take every year, or my festival that I take the 8th graders on. And that is another database. I bet there's a way that we could possibly use that with the full band database as well. So that's the third one. But right now I keep them separate, just easier to sort of handle that, because our festival is not just band, it's band, orchestra, chorus. And so it's easier just to keep them separate, at least I think so. But anyway, I figured I'd just kind of go over and start with the band music library, because that's kind of I don't want to say the easiest, but maybe the one that our listeners probably would be most familiar with, having a spreadsheet of your music library and how you can use that in Airtable. So I'm going to go over and share my screen.
Ooh.
Never done this before on a Take a Cue episode.
That's right. Groundbreaking. This is a groundbreaking episode, Erik.
It is a groundbreaking episode. Oh, look at that. And I think there's 2 of us there on the screen. How fun.
Cool.
So I've got my list up here, and it looks like a spreadsheet at first, right? I mean, you've got the different views, and we can talk about views in a second here. But you have your different columns, and in each column we have, different pieces of information. So what we've got going on is we have a column that's an auto number. It just numbers the music. So we don't have to actually keep the physical copies organized in any way other than number. So it's not like we're going in and constantly shoving pieces aside to keep things alphabetically organized in the real space. It's all in the database.
Okay.
So we kind of just add I'll scroll down, like the numbers that we have down here at the bottom are the things that we've gotten more recently.
Okay. So your filing cabinet just looks like 1 through 200 and whatever, and that 255 and 255 is Carol Burton Chambers piece. That's awesome. Okay, got it.
So that way, when we want to alphabetize things or work in that way, we can do it in the database. We don't have to do it in real life. We can always say, okay, I want to find this piece and I know what number it is. I'm going to go into the library and find it. So the second column we have is the composer. We also have an arranger column. Then we keep the grade. We've got 2 different grades here. We've got, the easy, very easy, medium, easy, hard grading, but we also have the number grading system. It's just useful when we want to look at it at a glance. We also have a couple columns here. One is does it exist in Smart Music? That's useful to know. And also we have a column for underrepresented composers on here as well. We have information, which is either the J.W. Pepper description of the piece, or if we get a chance to take a listen to it, we kind of put it in there like, this has good balance. There's no featured sections. There are lots of percussion parts, things like that. Wicked. It's wicked. That was pretty much what we wrote.
Creative.
Yeah. But it's really good to say, like, needs a strong trumpet section or something. So I can then go search for trumpet and see which pieces say needs a strong trumpet section, doesn't feature trumpet. It's useful to have that information. So cool. We have, I
used to have that. Like, I used to do those things, and now I've lost track of that because I just haven't, where I am right now, like my library's in like 2/3 in one place and 1/3 in another. And but I bet if I had it like this, I could probably figure it. Like, I could probably make it go together. You know what I mean? Like, where it was all in kind of, at least here, like I could maybe put a column that said like, okay, this piece is housed at this school instead of, you know what I mean? Like, I could have a column for that. And then since this is obviously in the cloud, I can update it when I'm at either school,
Absolutely. So, yes, that's the other thing is it's not on your computer, so you can access it from anywhere. I'll even talk about it a little later. There's iPhone and Android apps as well, so you don't even need your computer to be able to look things up. So then we have the type, and these are called multi-select types here. Same thing as the key signatures. We have that listed in number of keys, a number of flats, a number of sharps, because sometimes pieces have more than one descriptor. So we have pieces over here like this is a ballad and a transcription. So, I can search by just ballads. I can search by just transcriptions, things like that.
That's cool.
Make it really easy. And you can do multi-searches as well. You can do filters and say, I want to look at pieces that are medium, easy, concert and contest, or ballad, and are in 3 flats.
Okay, so can we take a step backwards? So like, how do you set up those keys? Like, how do you set, like, if you just, they were just things you typed in and then it remembered them, or okay.
So when you're in the edit field, you're going to select the type of multiple select, and then you can put in the different options.
Oh, there it is.
The nice thing is if you forget an option, like if I had a piece all of a sudden that came in with 5 flats, I could just type 5 flats in here and it'll add it as an option.
It'll create one. Okay. Yeah.
Correct.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And so you can add them that way, either while you're actually editing the field type here, or you can add them as you're just editing the record. There's lots of different types here of different data here that you can add, and I'll talk about some of the more useful ones as we go through. Most of the stuff that we do is either selections or text, or occasionally checkboxes.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So this is a link. We just linked to the J.W. Pepper site so that we can go and easily listen to it.
And like the date performed thing, I don't know. Those of you who are just starting out, you might be like, oh, I did that my first year and you're 3 years in. But when you're 10 years in and you did it your first and your third year, you're not going to remember that. You're just not. You need to start to keep track like right away when you did those things. Because luckily I've been surviving. I'll be honest, I've been this is my 8th year in Livingston. I have not been keeping track. And the only way I have been keeping track is if I search my Google Drive for the title of the piece, and I hope that it comes up in the concert program that I made.
Yes.
So I am very far behind on this, and I need to start keeping track because I have copied and like handed out a piece that we did the previous year at this point in my career. 18 years in, you will copy and hand out a piece that you did on your very last concert and you will have forgotten. So keep track.
Well, let me show you, Jen. Let me show you how we do that here, because it looked like all that information was actually typed in here, but it's not. I'll show you the next sheet that we have. I guess we also have the same library for our jazz band music, just for anybody watching on YouTube. I see it. Okay. So it's easier, we found, to keep them separate rather than putting them all in the same spreadsheet. I guess you could do it that way, but we did that separately. Now we have a separate tab for performances, and this is what's really neat, is because it's a database, you can link different records between different sheets. and play around and pull that data in so you can see it in different places. So for instance, right here, whenever we have a concert, we put the date of the concert. It auto numbers the number here. It has which group performed. So like I'll do an entry for our spring band concert for the 8th grade band, an entry for the for the 7th grade concert band, an entry for the green band, which is one of our jazz bands, and an entry for the junior Lancer band, which is another jazz band. So we do those. And then what's really cool is we actually link to the concert band and jazz band music libraries and say, what did I do on this program? Okay, I did number 246, number 252, and number 218. If I click here and I want to add a fourth piece that we played, I can search the other sheet for the name. So let's say we did Fearless. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, okay, I have to know the number. So I go search down for Fearless. I guess that's a little bit of a wonky thing, but anyway, you can find the piece, the number that you did, and then you just add it.
Yeah.
And then this actually is called a lookup. It takes that information and then just automatically populates this field. Same thing for the jazz band music library.
Okay.
And then we can have our notes. We even have a spot where you can attach different files. So we'll attach the PDF of the program if we want to. And then back in the other databases, it pulls information from those linked. This is a little bit more complicated use of it. You don't have to use it this way. But what it does is it says, okay, so it's now linked to performance number 48 and performance number 7, which were, let's
Those
see,
dates
May 3rd
and
and May 16th, 2022 and 2018. And I can even see what groups did the piece that year.
Wow.
It's actually pulling it in from the performances tab. This is not actually typed in. It's actually doing a lookup back and forth. So you have one sheet pulling data from another sheet and then vice versa. So it's really easy to see the information at a glance. It's a little more complicated than is necessary to use in the program, but we find it useful.
Yeah. Listen, the more information, the better. That's really cool. Now, let's see. So you can embed links in there. Do you ever like scan PDFs of the music and attach that to your spreadsheet, or could I do that?
Sure. You absolutely could.
Yeah. Cause I was like, I keep them in Drive and I do that, but I'm just trying to like minimize the clicks. Right. So if I cause I'm between two schools, like sometimes I will scan, a score or a part just so I can access it when I'm in the other building and not have to, bring it with me and stuff. So that'd be kind of nice to have it all there. So.
Yes. No, I think that's a great use of it. I may actually start doing that now that you mentioned that.
Yay.
The other nice thing is because it's not a spreadsheet, you have different saved views. So if I'm going to go up here and I want to sort things, or I want to group things, or I want to filter it out, I can then save that view to see it again later. Okay. So for instance, if I want to look up, I want to actually do the grid view, but I want it to sort by grade.
Okay.
Now I've got the same view and I've got the same info, but now it's all sorted and grouped by grade.
Okay.
Which is kind of neat. So if I want to look at all my medium easy pieces, they're all right here together. Super easy. Yeah. And then if I want to do pieces that we've performed, I can say, okay, I want to filter it. I want to sort it by date performed and grade performed. So I can look at that and see, I think it has the ones that were performed at the top. Yes. So these are all the ones that were performed at the top. And then these are all the pieces that we haven't performed since I've been there. It's a lot of music.
It is.
There's like 30 years worth of music before I even got there. So, yeah. So anyway, so that shows the pieces that have been performed. You can look up underrepresented composers. And it'll do what's called a filter. So right now I only want to look at ones that say underrepresented is checked, and it'll only show me that. Okay.
Now what's the default view? So like when I open Airtable and I open this database, what comes up? the last thing I sorted, or is like how can I customize that, or is that like what does it look like when I just first open it? Because if I'm clicking around and like sorting it and finding all these things, like what does it look like?
That's a great question. Let's find out together. All right, so I'm going to be in Performances tab, Green Band. All right, I'm going to go back out to my. I'm going to close it, and I'm going to now open the tab again. We'll see where it opens up. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
It might open up in the main grid view again, but it might also go there.
Okay.
There also, by the way, there are a ton of different views. Oh, look at that. It goes right back to where it was.
Okay. All right.
There are other types of views too that aren't grid views. I don't play around with those a lot, but there are different types of views that you can use too. You can use a calendar if you have a bunch of. This might work really well on if you're like running a festival or something like that, where you've got a lot of different deadlines and things that have to happen at a different time. We use the gallery view. I didn't even put this in the show notes. We use this for our list of professional performers on each instrument. They all have pictures and things like that. It makes a really nice gallery view. Kanban, I'm not really familiar too much with. It's good if you have a lot of like to-do lists. There's other things. You can even make forms. It's really cool. It's really cool. This is only scratching the surface that we're talking about tonight.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's how we do our band music library. It makes it really easy to search and sort and filter results. And it also, we even have one called Possible to Buy. That's where, like, if we go into JW Pepper and we're just listening to pieces, we're like, oh, I think I might like to buy that one. We just throw it on this list.
So I get that. Like, I have that in Google Keep, right?
Sure.
But then, like, my library is in Google Sheets, and then my other, like, I don't feel like I'm getting the same amount of integration in like Google Sheets right now that you're getting in this. That's cool. So this is cool. And I do like the color coding. That is kind of nice.
Yes.
So yeah, that makes me happy. So
yes.
Okay.
So that's how we do our sheet music. Okay. Now, what I find really, really super useful is our database for our Dorney trip, our festival that we take in the end of May, beginning of June. So I know there's other paid apps out there you can use. I'm going to sneeze. Okay, maybe not. I know there are other paid apps out there, like the Band app and things like that. And I've never used them. I'm sure they would work really well. They may even offer some functionality that this doesn't, like the ability to accept payments and things like that. But we don't. I don't have that. I don't do that through our school. Our school has its own payment system. So I find this really super, super useful. Cool. So the way I've got it laid out here, and stop me anytime. Okay. These are random names, by the way. These are not kids, but I just put them in there to show you what it looks like.
So creative.
The way I've got it set up here, look at all the different saved views that I've made in the past, just to be able to check out different things that I need to know along the way. But this is the main view, is called All Possible. It's every kid in all the ensembles that could possibly go. Okay. And all their names are listed here. These are formulas. I'm not going to talk too much about those right now. But I can check off, have they gotten in their permission slip? Just an easy checkbox right here. As they get in their permission slip, I check it off. The ensemble, it can be a multiple select, because some kids are in multiple ensembles. So we've got band, chorus, strings. At one point, we took some extra kids too. We also have a group for chaperones. They're like their own ensemble. It just makes it easier to get full counts when we need to later. We can put their instrument. I haven't felt the need to use that, but we could have that column if we needed to. We assign the buses here as a single select. These are the buses here. Band, chorus, strings, and a mixed bus for like the leftovers that don't fit on the other buses. We have t-shirt size column here. I'll get back to payments in a minute, because that's really useful information, but it's a link. It's linked to another table. So we've got their phone numbers here that we can put in. I usually just copy and paste from Genesis their phone numbers for like home. Not their like cell phone numbers, but their parents' numbers in case there's an emergency. I've got that. I don't have to call the main office and then and then have them go looking for the number. It's right here. And then I keep the medical concerns here as well. So yeah. So that's really a useful way to do this. Now, the payments received, this is where it gets really cool because anytime a kid brings me a check or cash, they're not supposed to bring cash, but they do occasionally. Anytime a kid brings me a payment, I'll log it here. I'm linking to their name in the attendees table.
Okay.
And let's see, Lena Zamora. So now she brings me a check. She brought me check number 456, and it's for $30. So I'll just put that in there. It was the first payment, which is like the deposit payment.
Yeah.
I'll list myself as the person who entered it because if you're collaborating with multiple people, you can also have them enter whoever entered it. Just in case there's any questions, you can go back and ask that person.
Okay.
And it'll automatically populate this date field with the date and the time that it was entered.
Ooh, I like
Useful,
that.
right? I didn't even put that in there.
That is good.
This is
That's
called
really good.
the created time. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, created time. You can also do last modified time, created by, all that good stuff. Yep.
Okay.
So it's there. Yep. And you can write any notes here like, oh, this was a replacement for an overpayment. The check was for $135, but it was returned to student. Maybe it bounced or something like that. I don't know. Oh, they probably overpaid and that's why. So you keep a list of all the payments as they come in. Then what I do is I just give the stack of checks plus the list to my office lady, and she loves it because it has all the check numbers, it has all the numbers. She double checks everything and then just takes it to the bank.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. That's really cool.
Back here in the attendees sheet, because it's linked to the payments received table, it actually looks up the payments from payments received and adds them here. So I can see all the payments that each kid made. And I have a formula here that will take the sum of the payment amounts and add it together. So I can see what total they've paid as well.
Oh, cool. Oh, there you go.
Yep. And then this column is what they haven't paid. Like if I know the trip is going to be $122, I'll subtract the amount that they've paid, and that'll show me how much they still owe. Like this kid now owes $92 because remember I just put in a $30 payment. This kid owes $122.
Right.
So I can go through there. Yep. They haven't paid yet, or they maybe haven't paid at all. But that's okay. And then I can go, okay, well, I want to do a filter. And let's see how many strings kids are missing things. These 3 kids are missing. Okay, here's what they're missing. They're missing $122, $92, $122, and they don't have a permission slip in. So I can then just send that to my colleague and say like, hey, these 3 kids are still missing things. Can you check in with them?
Okay. That's cool.
Makes it really, really super easy. You can see who's missing a balance. We can see who owes most, who's got a deposit in. Nobody's got a deposit in band. But like you can see, okay, who has a deposit in but hasn't brought in a permission slip.
Oh, interesting.
You know? So there's so many different views that you can create. The cleared to attend list just says, okay, who's got their permission slip in and has paid the full price. Okay. This is the list of kids.
Yeah. Good job, Christopher Heath. Nice job.
Yes, and Randall Blankenship.
There you go. Love it.
And I also, you can make a list for like teachers where you're hiding other columns. All they need to see is, okay, who are the kids that are going on the trip? So I made this view, and then what you can do is you can actually share that view. You can create a link to the view, and you can say, don't allow them to copy data out or whatever. You can change your settings here. And then, so I just email out the link like a week before and say, here's the final list of kids. And so the teachers can go and actually see this list right here in Airtable. It'll automatically update too. If I have a kid that brings me a late check, it'll update the list that the teachers have.
Oh, that's good.
Because it's just a link to the database. It's not actually like a, it's not a PDF.
Like a PDF or something. Yeah. Got it. All right.
Yep. Super easy to use. Preliminary attendance for me just means like, okay, who brought in a deposit? So I know that they're planning on going.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a lot.
All right.
But it's so helpful.
Yeah. And like, so year to year, right? So this is your spreadsheet for this year. How do I use all these settings so I don't have to recreate them for next year? Is that a thing I can do?
Sure. There's a really great option here in Airtable. It's the duplicate. I forget exactly where it is. Oh, here it is. Duplicate base. And then when you go to duplicate, it'll ask you, do you want to duplicate the records or not?
Oh.
So you just duplicate the base without the records.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's what I want.
Yep.
Because my kids change, but the process doesn't. The trip doesn't change, Correct. So, okay, cool.
And there's this other table over here for costs, which I think is really useful as for my planning purposes. I've got a column for who the payment goes to. Is it an anticipated payment or has it been paid?
Okay.
The budgeted amount, what I'm assuming it's going to cost, when I know it's going to be due. And then I look here and I say, okay, well, now I know I've sent out this payment and I know it was on this date. And here's an attachment of the invoice.
Got it.
And any notes.
Like, where does that invoice live? Does it live in your Google Drive, or does it does it actually live in Airtable now? Like, where does that invoice go?
It lives in Airtable.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So you actually upload it to Airtable.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And then the PDF just lives there.
Okay. Got it.
Yep. And that was our PDF invoice from 2024. If our listeners have stuck with us this long, the best one is last. I saved the best for last.
Yeah, I think, and I have a feeling this is what I would use it, the most for.
Yes.
So
this is our
band data, right?
Yeah. Everything that we need to know about band and keeping everything working and working clearly. Let me just scroll down to my notes here. Okay, full band database. So it says, this is the biggie. It has personnel, locks and lockers, instrument inventory, repair history. Even kids who are in the jazz band are listed in there as well, just so we can see, the jazz band lists. So the first table that I've got here is the concert band personnel. Now, this has every kid in it, 8th grade, 7th and 8th grade, every kid in the school that plays in band. We have their student ID number that we have here. Never really use it, but it's there. I'm not really sure why it's there. The good news is all this can be copied from Genesis. Genesis makes a spreadsheet of all this information, and you can just copy it right in from a spreadsheet. Copy and paste. Really super simple.
Yep.
So they've got their grade. Brendan and I are 300 because we're very old. And we've got 7th and 8th graders here. Then we have their instrument, their primary instrument for band. I guess you could make this a multiple select if you wanted to. If the kid plays 2 instruments in the band, go for it. They also have their student email. Again, just copied from Genesis. Pretty simple. We also have their lesson. We have their band day because we have different bands these days. But we have marking period. Like, here's their lesson group. Again, that's just a selection from the field. And like the other,
that. I have never gone that far, but I always at least once a month. I wish I had, because I'll want to email one group of kids and be like, "Listen, there's an assembly during your lesson. We're going to change your time to this, whatever." And I just have never tried to set up Google Docs this way, or Google Sheets. So, but this looks easier.
Yeah, and you can do that simply by sorting by group, and then just selecting the email addresses from that group.
Grabbing their emails, right? Yep. Exactly. So,
Yep.
I guess I should do that.
I've got them linked to the locker table up there. I've got them linked to instrument inventory if they're using a school instrument. I've got the medical concerns. I've got a couple kids with asthma and one that is allergic to bee stings. Jefferson Graves. By the way, these are all fake names. They don't exist. You can even use it for attendance. Like we did a high school band night. And so this is where I used to just check off that they were there. Mm-hmm. Cool. Simple enough. This is where it pulls into the jazz table over there. I have different columns here for their other marking period lessons too. So I'll talk about the different tables and then how they're linked, because I think that's useful. But there are tons of saved views over here. I can look at just band 8. I can look at band 7. I can do it by last name. I can do it kids that have locker numbers, so I can tell them what locker they're in. I can say, okay, I want to see only students with school instruments. Simple enough. These are all just different views that you can use, different filters. Grade 8. Okay, so now I've got more kids with school instruments. I've got a kid with tuba, a kid with a flute, and they're linked over here to the instrument inventory.
And again, like when you create those labels and different things, if you duplicate it and import next year's students, you have all that stuff.
Yes. Yep.
Right. Okay, cool.
And the nice thing is that we duplicate the base, but we actually keep the data, because when the kids become 8th graders, I just change 7 to 8 at the beginning of the year, and all their data stays there.
Got it.
And delete out the 8th graders. We do keep older versions of the library in case we need to go back and look at who was where.
Okay.
If an instrument goes missing, who had it 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Sure.
It's happened, so we keep that.
And like bragging rights when they like do amazing in high school, and you're like,
Yes.
yeah, they started here.
So this is how we post our lesson groups. We're going to post the lesson group by we're going to do the whole band by instrument, so they can look up all the flutes. Group B, the clarinets are group C. We have an alto in group F. And so this is how I actually just print it out and post it outside my office. And I post a link to the view to Schoology. So the kids can always check what lesson group they're in and what day their lesson falls on. So it's really super useful for them to be able to check. And it updates because it's just a link to the database. It's not actually a PDF or anything.
My band director brain really, really wants to be in score order. Is there any magic I can do with this to make sure most things I see are in score order? Because that drives me nuts. And the things I have to do with Google Sheets to make my, things in score order drive me up a wall. So
check this out, Jen. You're going to love this. Okay. So when you're putting in the kids when you're creating your database and you want to put the instrument field here, when you're editing the field, you put it in score order: flute, oboe, clarinet, bass, saxophone, bassoon. I think I put that in the wrong place. Trumpet, horn. You put it in score order, and you can even, slide these around.
Okay.
And then when you say, okay, let's put that in order, I'm going to sort first to last. Let's see. Instrument. Yeah, we'll get rid of that here. Now all my instruments are in score order.
Ooh.
Because I put them in score order. So it's not alphabetical. It's in order of the tags that you created.
That's
it's
awesome.
Amazing, Jen.
That's really cool, because it's so annoying to have and then somebody else looks at my spreadsheet and they're like, what's instrument sort? Why is it a flute? Is that my lesson group? What's the deal? No, it's because flute.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how you do it. When you create the dropdown, you set the order.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. I love that.
And, so we have our student email in here and all that stuff, but you can do it any way you want. You can sort it. You can group it. You can say, I want to group by instrument. So you're going to see a group of clarinets, a group of flutes, bass clarinet, group of altos. It's sort of a way of sorting, except they're separated out. So it's really easy just to see them. You can see I have 4 flutes in this group. I have 5 clarinets in this group. I have 1 bass clarinet in this group. Very useful that way.
Very cool.
Indeed.
Okay.
So lockers, because we have band lockers. We have a whole list of every locker we have. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and all the way down to 125.
I have to ask, what's in locker 2? No, just kidding.
Locker 2 is the other side of locker 1. It's actually one giant locker, even though one door is 1 and the other door is 2. I know, it's very, very boring.
I'm just kidding.
But anyway, so how we laid it out was we said, okay, we actually did it by serial number. Okay. And it's assigned to a locker, excuse me. So each lock has a serial number. It's assigned to a locker, and it has a code, a combo.
Got it.
Simple enough. Then we link it to concert band personnel that need lockers. So Anton Davila has locker 9. So when Anton comes to me and goes, Mr. D, I can't remember my combo, I go, okay, what locker are you? 9? Okay, it's 350519. Simple enough.
Okay. So how hard is it? Click on that column that says concert band personnel. How hard is it to link a kid to?
Oh, here you go. Sure.
Okay.
Not hard at all.
Okay.
You just hit the plus icon and you've got your entire list of kids there. I recommend doing it by last name. When I just populated this with random names, I did it first last, but I usually do it last first.
All right. So say we want to assign that record to like that locker
Lena.
to Sweeney or Schwartz. Okay. So you just click.
Lena Schwartz. Yep. Now she's assigned to that locker. But what's cool is back in the concert band personnel, wherever Lena Schwartz is, do you see her? Oh, here she is, number 6. When you look over here, now it populates that she is in locker 8, and that's her combo.
Okay. Sweet. All right. Awesome. That's
automatically populates it.
I can do that. Okay. Cool.
Yep. It links. So these two tables are linked. It makes it really easy. Yeah. We also put the locker type because we have all different sized lockers and we're not always sure which lockers are the right ones for the right instruments. So if I go through here and I go, okay, I need a locker that fits a French horn that's open, I can look through and say, okay, French horn. Or I can even sort or filter and say, okay, I only want lockers that have French horn. So it'll show me only the French horn lockers.
Only ones that are big enough for a French horn.
Yep. Cool. And I can see that none of them are occupied right now, so I can choose any of them.
Never get any good horn players.
I've got a couple. Actually, just one cool. So far in 8th grade this year. But anyway, so that's why we use this locker type. It just makes it easier for us to, at a glance, to see, okay, what locker is going to fit that instrument.
Cool.
Inventory. So we started this sheet and then it kind of grew and grew into other things that we needed. I'll get into that in a minute, but this is so super useful. We, again, label each instrument not by its serial number and not by like any other information other than it is piccolo 1. It is bass clarinet 1, bass clarinet 5. Now we know that piccolo 1 is a piccolo. Instrument type is here. Again, score order. You're welcome. And then we know that it's an Armstrong and it's a model 204 and we know its serial number. So all that is in there, but we know that's piccolo 1. And I just take a paint marker and marker it on the case. Piccolo 1.
Piccolo 1. It sounds like a real winner.
It's actually a nice piccolo.
No, it sounds like it.
And then we have our condition. You can sort of create this however you want. Our conditions are like new, good, fair, poor, and do not repair. As in, we really need to get rid of this instrument. Don't bother repairing it.
Yeah, I have that column too. So
do not resuscitate your instrument.
DNR.
Yeah. So then we have a status column, and this is actually really useful for when we're looking for instruments to assign or what instruments are where. It basically says, where are they? It's ready to assign or with a student. It's taken home for a summer loaner. It needs repair. We have 2 different repair shops that we send stuff to, so we know which we say it's at the music shop or the music den. We have an unknown missing column. Luckily, we don't have any of those right now, but we did when we started. We took the old inventory from before Brendan and I started and digitized it, and there were a few instruments on there that were missing. So we tracked them down eventually. And then if we loan an instrument out to one of the other schools, we just put that as an option here.
Ooh.
Okay. So yeah, so like if we know it's at Mount Pleasant, we'll just say it's at MPM. That way we know we don't have it and we know where it is. We also had a flood and some instruments got damaged, so we created another status for flood damaged. There's another one for discarded too. Occasionally, those DNR instruments do go away. I'm not sure why ratty. I'm not sure why that's there. That might have been an accident. Anyway, so that's really useful. So we know alto sax needs repair. And then over here, we can actually put the damage type, like alto 1. I know keys don't close, and there's cork missing. So we put that in there. So we remember when we say to the music, repair store, this one needs repair, we can give them a little info. Yeah,
like I do that for myself. This is going to sound so bootleg compared to what you have going on. But like when I send an instrument out at the end of the summer, I have like a file folder in my drawer and I'm like, I sent out this alto. It had no cork on the neck. Hopefully you'll get it back. Signed me June 20, whatever, 2025. And then I put it in my drawer and hope that it's there when
Yeah.
I open my drawer. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jen from the past. But this is so much more professional.
So what we do, Jen, no,
You
we
know.
actually do exactly what you're talking about. At the end of the summer, at the end of the school year, we take, let's say we did these 3 instruments are out with the music shop.
Yep.
We can just look and say, okay, what's out for repair? It's those 3 instruments. That's a filter that just says it's out for repair. It's either one of these. And what damage type it is.
Yeah, because you always get a question like, oh, did this instrument come out for repair? And I'm just like, yeah, I'll go check for you. I don't remember. And then I look at the shelf and I stare at it and I'm like, come on, Jen from June, come on, remember, please remember, and like you got to keep track of this stuff. You can't just let it float out into the wind because it's a lot of money, and good instruments and
So speaking of money, we actually do have a column as well here for when it was purchased, if we know when it was purchased, what the replacement cost would be. Occasionally we'll go through here and just like look at eBay for used, similar used instruments and see what they're selling for and kind of just put that in there. When we loan them out to students, we actually give them a form that their parent has to sign, and it has the replacement value on it. So they know that this is a $1,300 piccolo. I can say clarinet 4 is going to Miles. Now Miles has a very nice clarinet that he borrowed from us. And now it'll also show in concert band personnel, it'll show that Miles has clarinet number 4. So it's useful. Okay, so repair history. We added this a while ago and look back. This is really super amazing for any of our listeners who might want to try to convince their administration that they need new instruments. This is a really important table because it keeps track of all the repairs. And you can say then, okay, I've done $3,000 worth of repair on this bass clarinet. I think it's time, and it's 20 years old. I think it's time to get a new one. So what we do, it's pretty simple. Every time we get a repair back, we add a new line here for each instrument. It's automatically numbered. We have when it was repaired, the repair was returned.
Okay.
Or when the invoice date is. We link it to the instrument inventory over here. We link it to the table there. So this was tuba 3. It automatically pulls in the serial number. We put in what did the repair cost, what was done, for instance, slides, valves, clean, felts, and cork, which site did it, and then we attach the invoice over here. That shows it. But now when I go back to my instrument inventory table, which is linked, it shows the repair history for each instrument, when it was repaired, every time it was repaired. This bass clarinet 4 is repaired pretty much every year. It's a good bass clarinet, but bass clarinets need repairing every year.
Yeah, they do.
It shows all the repairs that were done right in a row. And the great thing here is it actually shows what the cost was each time.
Over time, right?
Yep.
Cool.
And then I have a formula here that shows the total amount of repairs for each instrument.
Cool.
So this instrument, this column here just adds this up for bass clarinet 1. We've spent $823 repairing bass clarinet 1. This one wins. I think Barry Sax 1 has almost $1,200 worth of repairs. Yeah, I don't think anything else came that close. I'm not even sure we still have that Barry Sax. That might have been one of the ones where we're like, hey, we've spent $1,200 on repairing this instrument, and it's 20 years old.
Right.
So that pulls in all the details from the repair history table. Yes, it's super, super helpful.
Cool.
Yes. This is our sound role models database. This is really a Brendan creation, and I love it. I'm going to share the screen here. Let's see, share. There we go. So this is the gallery view.
Okay.
And so you can put things into a grid like you do on anything else. Looks like a spreadsheet. And it has all of their information. You got links, YouTube links, names, pictures. You can attach pictures too, which is cool. But then the one that we link to the kids is our gallery view, which looks so much nicer. So you can sort it by instrument and by name.
Oh, Jeannie Backstresser. Yeah. Oh, this is cool.
So we've got their picture right up at the top. We've got their name, their instrument, their style, any notes that we happen to come across, and you have their link right there. So as you click on the record, and then you can just go watch Gene Backstresser go play, which is pretty cool. And so there's a whole bunch of people on here in different styles, instruments, jazz clarinet, classical clarinet, of course. We got bass clarinet in here. Brendan, of course, adds all the bass clarinets in there. I also added the saxes, so there you go. So there's jazz sax, there's classical saxophone, so this is a really cool. This is a really cool way to use it too. You can just use it as a gallery.
That's so cool. Yeah. And your students, you share this with them how?
On Schoology, just a link.
Okay.
You can see here that there's a shared view here, and we just copy the link and we can post it to them. And it kind of always updates if we add somebody else, to the list, then it just gets added, when they click on it again.
Cool. All right.
Oh, he's even put in groups. I didn't see this before. He's put in groups. And the Vienna horns is in there as well. I hadn't thought about that. Oh man, Gunhild Carling, so good.
Oh my gosh, this is fun.
So that's how we use Airtable. And I know that was a ton to go through, and there's a lot. We didn't all do this all in 1 week. Brendan and I have been, adding and subtracting and making new things for 10 years.
Right.
But it's kind of just a way to show you what our listeners, what they can do with Airtable, which I think is pretty cool.
No, there's a lot there. And like anything that can save me time or answer somebody's question faster, or like that saves a lot of energy. So
it really does. It really does. And everything's there, easy to see year after year. Nothing, you can go back and look years in the past and things like that. So the reasons that I find it useful, again, just kind of to wrap it up, is to, that it's saved views with auto sort groupings, lookups. You can filter by different things. It links the data between different tables within the database, which is super useful. And finally, it's really useful that you have the iPhone and Android apps for data on the go. Like I said, when I'm walking in the band room and I've got my phone in my pocket and a kid comes up to me and goes, "Mr. D, I forgot my combo," I can just pull out my Airtable and look at it on my phone.
And just have it right there. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. And no, I mean, even as an elementary, director, things are a little simpler. I don't have trips to deal with usually. Like, we have trips within the district, but there's still plenty that I could get out of using Airtable better. So awesome.
Yeah. Some other uses that Brendan and I were just kind of throwing out there for any of our listeners who might want to play around with it. If you're running a festival at your school and you've got dates and contacts and things like that, this could be so incredibly useful. If you've got different schools coming to, perform for different judges and things like that, you could make a giant database to help you keep everything organized. Yeah. Brendan uses it for his outside of school gigs. He keeps track of where he's played, how much he's made, what instruments he's played, things like that. I should probably do that too. It'd be useful.
Yeah. You forget after a while, know, so. Yeah.
He uses it also for his private school to keep things, or his private studio, to keep things organized. You could also use it as a professional musician for your own expenses and things like that, for especially useful at tax time. I was also thinking if I had a high school band or a high school ensemble that had clothing to take care of, oh my gosh, marching band uniforms, this would be so useful. Chorus skirts and chorus tuxedos and things like that, so incredibly useful.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I could definitely see like issuing those things and keeping track of them and payments and totally.
Oh yes. As you can tell, Jen, Brendan and I are total data nerds. But we also hate paper. So that's one of the reasons why we love Airtable.
Yeah.
Because if you looked at my desk, there's nothing there. except for my
I was
computer.
going to say, he's got like a bunch of dongles to hook up to the computer and a little ergonomical like keyboard setup, and that's about it. So
And a lava lamp. Don't forget the lava lamp.
Yeah, well, that's there too. And a lot of nice, like, letters that say, Mr. D, we love you so much, and memes from his students, and those things that just mean love, like, weird memes for middle schoolers. So yeah, that's Eric's desk. Yeah.
I like those papers. Those are the papers I like. Those are hung on the wall behind my desk.
Right.
When you're having a tough day, you can just sort of turn around and look back and see a nice letter from a kid you had 5 years ago, and think,
good.
wow, I was really nice 5 years ago.
Yep.
So, Jen, I hope this was helpful to you and to our listeners.
It was. It very much was. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Take a Cue. We hope you got a few ideas and maybe even some laughs to bring back to your own band rooms.
Laughs about Airtable. It's very funny. If you like what you heard, hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, leave us a 5-star rating and review. It helps other music educators find the show and join our growing community.
And if you know a colleague who would love this podcast, share it with them. The more the merrier, especially when it comes to talking shop about band.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Take a Cue Podcast. We post extra content, behind the scenes fun, and maybe the occasional rehearsal blooper.
Got an idea for an episode or a topic you'd love us to tackle? Reach out. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, Jen. Until next time, get out there and make great music.
Yeah. And remember, every great performance starts with how you take a cue.